let's get ready to rumble! In this corner, coming from the state of Pennsylvania, standing at 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 216 pounds, we have Anonymous Biker USA.
Roll that intro.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for coming to the Anonymous Biker USA channel. Today we're going to do a little different vlog based on a conversation, or a chat I should say, I had the other day with a bunch of fellow creators and YouTubers. And one of the gentlemen, Mr. Dazzle Rebel Rise from the UK, used a particular British slang for a word in America, and a bunch of other guys proceeded to jump in and make fun of him in a great way, all in fun, good jokes. So it got me to thinking, this moto vlogging links the entire world, not just the United States obviously, but I'd like to pick 3 idioms that I use quite often in the English language and see how they translate over to England with Dazzle Rebel or Undead Zombie Viking, or go further to New Zealand with the 2 Kiwi riders and find out what some of their sayings may be. So, you know, for example, beat around the bush, give them the cold shoulder. Those are things from an idiom. You know, if you isolate the words individually, they don't mean anything, but if you use them together in a sentence, it's called an idiom, and it has multiple meanings. So, you know, everybody knows what beat around the bush means, everybody knows what dime a dozen is, you know, barking up the wrong tree. You guys use them all the time. Hit the nail on the head. And we use them so much we don't even realize how much we use them to describe and explain so many different things. So I'd like to know what those things may be in Britain, what those things may be in New Zealand, or Aussie and the Indian. What are they in Australia? I know you guys call beer a stubby, but do you have sayings like beating around the bush or barking up the wrong tree, and what are they? So for me, in America, some of the ones that I use often are, when I go to buy something, I'm like, it's gonna cost an arm and a leg. Well, what does that actually mean? Costs an arm and a leg, obviously it means it's going to be very expensive. But where did it come from? So in all my research, quote quote, all my research, or just my Wikipedia, and a short little search of where could that phrase have come from, it refers to back in the days of the 1700s when a lot of the royalty or presidential people would get portraits. Most times, if you notice, it would only be of their torso and their head. And the reason for that is the artist or the painter charged extra for limbs. So if George Washington, for example, wanted a portrait with limbs, how much is that going to cost? Well, President Washington, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. Fast forward 250 years or then some, and now we have the famous phrase for when something costs too much, that's going to cost an arm and a leg. Pretty interesting. Another one that put the nail in the coffin. I use that a lot when a project is done at work, or something's doomed, or I don't know, you're watching your sports team and game's over, a fumble, bad play, and there's no chance of winning. You're like, yep, that put the nail in the coffin, signifying that's the end, it's over, bye-bye. Now, where did that saying come from? Now, none of these are like rock solid. This is exactly where it came from. These are all theories, so before you start leaving all comments, that's not where it came from. I'm just saying it's a theory based upon some brief internet research and for the fun of this motovlog. So nail in the coffin referred to when coffins were literally made out of pine boxes, and they used to have to nail them shut. And in nailing them shut, before they went under and buried, they would have to put the last nail in the coffin, signifying that it was ready to be buried and ready to go under. So that's where that interesting idiom came from. And then the other one that I use a lot, and the third one for the purpose of this video, is give them the whole 9 yards. How many times do you hear that when you refer to giving somebody, you know, the whole ball of wax? It's another one, but the whole 9 yards is basically like, give it all to them, give them everything you got, you know. And the theory on that came from back in the war, when the gunners were up there and shooting the machine guns in the aircraft. Supposedly the ammunition was 9 yards long. So when the pilot would talk to the gunner and say how much should he give him, basically you want to give him all the ammo, give him the whole 9 yards. Da, 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 da. So giving him the whole 9 yards meant to let go all the ammo upon the enemy, and hopefully you had a successful mission. So, fellow biker, let's give him the 2-finger biker wave. Yeah! So that's where that came from. So just a quick video, guys, on idioms that generated from a discussion I was having with some guys on a chat, and Dazzle Rebel Rides was one of them, happening to be from England, and used a particular word that he explained to us over here in America, and we all got a kick out of it. So I figured, let's make a short video on the differences in language interpretation, and when things are strung together they mean one thing, but when they're isolated by themselves they mean something totally different. So I know you guys have them over in the UK, 2 Kiwi riders. I'm sure you have them in New Zealand. G'day, Kiwi riders. Hello, riders. I'm sure you guys have them. And Aussie and the Indian, there's a whole slew of words down there in Aussie land. So if you have anything to add, please let me know. So, short, quick one today, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe. It helps grow the channel. And I appreciate your time and watching. This is Anonymous Biker USA signing off. Thanks, guys.